Now, before we hit the road, we still need to finish exploring the Norwegian Industrial Workers Museum.
Dad,
Yeah,
have you checked this?
yeah,
Let's go check it out.
okay.
Mom, you need to come up because actually it seems to the back.
The machine hall. Now it's completely quiet, but once you could hear all the turbines and the generators. And this used to be one of the world's largest power plants. Back in World War II, the Germans occupied this area, and you can see there one of the Germans' motorcycles. But if you click right up here, there's an incredible story how some Norwegian special forces came here and stopped the Nazis getting the atomic bomb. What's nice about this museum is that it has a cafeteria and the food is really good. So you could definitely plan a day trip from Oslo to come here and check out this museum. And the view is absolutely breathtaking of the waterfall. Fortunately, I couldn't quite focus on it correctly. It cost us $19 per person to see this museum. And if you click right up here, I did a video about this region and what's there to see. You guys having fun going down?
Oh, you mean having a ride?
Having a ride? What's interesting about this museum is that you need to go on this suspension bridge to go there, and there were some people bungee jumping that you could do.
What was that, Adelaide?
You
really want to do that? Today?
No, I'm going to do one at my team.
When you're 18?
Because that's how old you need to be.
Okay.
So our road trip started at the museum and we worked our way all the way to Rjfylke. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now I have to give credit to Google. Google Map is the way to travel. What is nice about this map in particular is that it tells you all the turns and it gives you a lot of information. One thing about traveling in Norway is that there's a lot of ferries, and Google Map actually tells you where these ferries crossings are. And in this particular case, we had a ferry crossing, and my wife was on top of things, and she looked it up, and she realized that the last ferry was at 6 o'clock at night, and there was no way we were going to make it. And the way she found this information was using Google Map. It gave the information about the ferry boat and the times. So that saved us about 20 minutes of driving. So the plan was to stop along the way and get the drone out and get some really cool aerial video, but we just ran out of time. The only time that we did stop is when we noticed this neighborhood that had all these grass roofs. And what we found out was that traditionally in Norway, that's how houses were built back in the Vikings and so forth. The main three reasons why they build houses that way is first that a heavy roof stabilized the house because the houses were made out of wood, and all that load of the sod actually made a good insulation also, so it kept things warm inside. And another thing was very inexpensive because sod and soil could be found everywhere in Norway. So now there's a big push because about going green. A lot of houses are starting to put these traditional grass roofs. No matter where you go in Norway, you always seems to be near a lake or a river, so it's quite scenic. During the summer months, or before the snow starts to fall, they work and try to maintain the roads. So when traveling in the fall time, you might notice some construction work.
Always the comedian.
So
Yeah, that's the Chuck and his boys.
Alright, so a lot of roads there in Norway, especially out in the countryside and in the mountains, they look like one-way streets. They're very narrow, and you wonder how can another vehicle pass. Well, what they have is they have these little cutouts where you're supposed to slow down like I did over here, and the person could go around you, but and you give them the right of way depending on who could see who. But normally they put these cutouts where you see the vehicle coming towards you, and like in this particular case, I saw this vehicle, so I pulled over in this cutout and let them go, and then you continue your merry way. So it's like a one-way street, but there's places where you can turn to let people drive by. We noticed that in Skye in Scotland, the first time that I noticed these kind of roads. Something you don't have in the United States. A lot of people wonder how expensive is driving in Norway, and when we drove there in September, it was 20.2 Norwegian krones per liter. So what does that translate into gallons per dollar? Well, it was approximately $7.48 per gallon. In September, that was pretty high, but coming from California, we're used to high gas prices. At that time, we were paying about $6.50 per gallon. So in some places in Los Angeles was close to $7. So really the prices were very similar to here in California than as in Norway. Another thing I learned about getting gas in Norway is that when you pay with your credit card at the pump, you have to have a 4-pin number to be able to use the credit card. If not, you'll have to go into the store and get a gas card, or maybe tell them exactly how much gas you want to pay for. Luckily, I had a credit card that had one of those 4-pin numbers, so it wasn't a problem for me. And Norway is known for having a lot of tunnels, and those tunnels are not very cheap to be built. So as you would imagine, there's toll roads. And just to give you an idea, we traveled in 5 days 1,400 kilometers, which is about 875 miles. And during that time, we spent about $100 on toll roads, and the toll roads are also in the tunnels. So just be mindful of that you will be paying for all the great roads they have in Norway by tolls. Now the way you pay for these toll roads is that your rental car is registered already, and after you return your car, about a day later, you get a bill from the rental car that shows all the toll roads, and it actually happens pretty quickly. Because we couldn't take the ferry, we ended up going under one of the longest and deepest roadway tunnels in Norway. It's 15 kilometers or about 10 miles long. Okay, ready? Let's go get some food. Matthew, what's on TV? Baby. After dropping off our stuff at the Airbnb, we were really hungry, so we stopped at this one place for pizza.
Because we need to be up earlier tomorrow.
We do?
Well, we don't want to spend another half day.
Oh, yes, time to eat. You hungry, Matthew?
I thought we were going to stay and eat at a hotel.
Yeah, we're going to eat here. It's a lot easier. We don't want to run in the rain. Rain.
So if he's the only person living, working here, that means it'll take longer.
Maybe. I think it's pretty fast.
We're the first person, people in line.
Oh man, we were so hungry. We were so happy when we got our food. We just hurry up and ate everything, so I didn't film anything about us eating. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to our channel. Next week, we go to Norway's iconic rock and climb up to the top of it. So please stay tuned.